Two anniversaries? That means more stones and quality units. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We got another Dokkan battle video for you here today. We are just 1 month away from the global Dokkan campaign. And as such, we have been in the midst of a couple videos in a prep guide series. And lo and behold, just as we uploaded our latest video in the series, talking about the amount of stones you can expect and doing a bit of speculation on how they're going to manage the campaign in order to accommodate the stones, Dokkan goes ahead and tweets out a roadmap sort of confirming and verifying the suspicions we had. So in this video, we're going to break all of that down, right? What we can expect from the celebration and what a anniversary sized campaign actually entails. So let's go ahead and let's kick things off here. Right, so as you guys know, during the month of February we celebrated JP's anniversary for Dokkan Battle, right? Remember, JP did release before the global version. That has now become the Dokkan Supreme campaign. Now hold on to that name change, because I think that name change I think is important in regards to how they're going to manage the celebration. So just keep that in mind. Fast forward to July and August timeframe. Before the sync, right? During this time, we would have the Tanabata campaign on JP and the global anniversary campaign, with a brief Dokkan Fest in between that and launching into worldwide celebration campaign in the month of September to October. Now, post-sync, the global anniversary has merged with the worldwide celebration campaign and became the new global Dokkan campaign. Now, this distinction is very important because in the previous roadmap, it was sort of suggested that these two celebrations would combine, but it was more so speculation based on the phrasing of how they worded their explanation of this Dokkan campaign. And so it's just nice here to have that little confirmation that the way we had talked about how they're going to manage the stones and the units to be released would be very similar to worldwide. And I think the combination of a anniversary / worldwide campaign is going to make us see just that. They also mentioned here about the Tanabata campaign previously in the July campaign for JP is now going to become its own new campaign, it looks like, in the month of September to October, right? So there will be, basically this is falling in the place of the worldwide campaign. So we'll basically have, so from July to August, what we would normally have the anniversary, right? Then we'll get a brief Dokkan Fest, and then we'll roll right into the worldwide campaign. So kind of just how it's been managed before, just a little bit. It's more or less name changes for all of these things, but this I think is important, right? Because notice the smaller box here for the anniversary campaign, right, versus the worldwide celebration campaign, right? Combining these two, I think the suggestion here is that this is going to be a very, very large celebration, something akin to what we saw during the 10-year anniversary, right? This was the biggest anniversary to date, and now initially, before this news, I didn't think we might see another 6LR celebration, but the fact that they are intentionally setting up this here, showing that these two celebrations are to be combined, I almost wonder if we might see another situation like the 10th anniversary here, where we get multiple sagas and, you know, up to 6 LRs. I don't know that that's necessarily a good or a bad thing, right? That's a judgment for later, but I think it's closer to a reality than it was previously, given now this bit of context. So that begs the question now, right? what can we expect from this campaign? Well, number one, we can expect a crap ton of stones. If you guys tuned into the video yesterday, we talked about all the stones that were gained from 10th anniversary, and it came out to, right, on the high end, around 17 to 1800 stones, on the low end, around, on the low end, around 1300 stones. So it made it means that 10th anniversary was the largest and most generous to date, and that's not even factoring in the fact that, like, they literally gave us a free anniversary LR, right, plus all sorts of other goodies along the way, right? This was the most generous. And now, given that this was JP's anniversary, right, this was essentially us celebrating JP's anniversary for the Dokkan Supreme campaign, we may see something very similar in July for the global campaign, right? We might get another free unit. We might get another 1700 stones, right? When we calculated it out, we assumed it would be on the lower end, probably closer to 13 to 15, more akin to a standard worldwide celebration. But I'm thinking we might be seeing another 10th anniversary level celebration, specifically because they are showing them off here in sort of a similar stature. I feel like if they wanted to signify that this was a smaller campaign, they would have made it smaller, but I feel like they are meant to be one and the same, especially when we give the title here, right? Anniversary sized campaigns twice a year. We could be seeing something just like this in the month of July. So be prepared, save those stones, right? Because you're going to need them. I mean, what we get here is going to be the bare minimum you're probably going to need after everybody was spent in February. So the last thing I wanted to talk about here is just kind of what I expect to see. You guys might have seen me click on it a couple of times already, but we do have the list of upcoming EZAs, and I think this gives us a pretty good indicator for what we could see during this style of campaign. Now, I'm not going to focus too hard on super EZAs for this one because, I mean, those you can literally slot anyone in and argue that it has a place there. So I think really the teller is the upcoming EZAs for what we could see for this campaign, because there's only so many units that would, unless we visit multiple sagas for this campaign, which is a likelihood. There's only so many EZAs that could fill a worldwide and anniversary sized campaign, right? So the leading theory that most people have been saying is like a new Namek Goku versus Frieza, culminating in a part 2 of the Resurrection of F movie, right? Meaning that would actually hit these guys for their EZA. And that kind of makes sense, right? Movies actually has one of the most possibilities for EZAs to fill a celebration. So if the theme is Super Saiyans versus, or Goku and Frieza versus the Wicked Bloodline, this could actually be another sort of versus Wicked Bloodlines type thing. This actually, right, this set of 6 EZAs right here, right, could all EZA during that celebration. I think it's a quick, I don't want to see all of these guys EZA all at once, but this would fit the most sense for a anniversary sized campaign, especially since we've seen they've already EZA'd Path to Power Goku, who came after these guys. So I mean, it's not out of the question. And I mean, Resurrection of F, all like being sort of the culmination of all of this, does make a lot of sense when you consider the fact that Resurrection of F is actually on its 10-year anniversary on global. I mean, it's 10-year anniversary on both, but specifically the July-August timeframe would land it right on the 10-year anniversary of its release over here in the West. So I mean, it's not the first time they've done anything like this too, right? When the Cooler Movie Celebration came out, right? Well, it did release in 91 on JP. The dub released in 2002, right? So 2022, this was the 20-year anniversary of the first Cooler Movie. So, I mean, it's not the first time they've done something like this, and it's probably not going to be the last. So it could definitely fit, and it does fit right? The most amount of EZAs here. The second most amount of EZAs available comes from the superhero line, right? I doubt we're visiting superhero again anytime soon, but they do have the most EZAs, right? So if they wanted to go a movies route, they could absolutely EZA these guys and like EZA these guys or EZA these guys, right? I mean, this is all considered movies, or they could just go straight superhero, and we've got 4 good EZAs on the docket right here. You could also tie in, right, like Tapion and Minosha randomly, the NLR Goku and Piccolo from Dead Zone, right? Since, I mean, we actually do have their updated sprite animations, which that would have meant something a while ago, but now that we have these new battle motions, I don't think it means anything anymore. So it could have been something where they were just randomly testing how to adjust these sprite animations for dual units and decided to use these guys. It's hard to say for sure, but I mean, there's a lot that could be done with either movies or superhero. The next most amount of EZAs comes from Android Cell Saga, right? We have the Goku and Gohan, and then we have these 3 right here: Trunks, the droids, and the AGL Trunks and Gohan. So, I mean, Android Cell Saga could fit very well for a full celebration. Like, part 1 could be like, right, if we're doing like another full LR celebration like we did there, right, you could easily get like a brand new Trunks from his first appearance. We could get a new transforming Gohan. We could get the Bye Guys Goku, a new super perfect Cell. We are overdue for that. I don't think the theme would specifically be Android Cell Saga. In fact, there is a second theme that fits also with 5 EZAs as well, and that is Future Saga, right? Future Saga could also be an option here, right? Future Saga could give us the Vegeta and Trunks, the Ents of Moss, and then these 3 EZAs right here. So there is kind of a big connection there. Another option, right, if this is considered to be an anniversary, right, and this is just a random YOLO pick, but the main headliners for the anniversary this year on JP were 2 fusion units, right? Gogeta, Super Gogeta, and Super Vegito. Well, there's 2 more appearances outside of Dragon Ball Super Broly. There's 2 more appearances that could also make their way to Global's anniversary campaign, right? While these two were the focus of the JP campaign, the focus of the Global campaign could be Vegito Blue, a tag Vegito Blue, and a tag Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. This works because this would encompass both GT and Future Saga, which means you could hit up the Future Saga EZAs here, as well as Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Tech Pan. Not as much, right? GT's a little on the lesser side, but it does also open up some super EZAs like Omega Shenron STR and the 2nd year anniversaries, and if they want to be real bold, to the 4th years, but I doubt that. But it does open up the door to the 2nd years, so I definitely think that though of the ones I've listed, those are all the most likely candidates. A lot of people are saying Daima, but I do feel like, just given the look of how EZAs are going to be handled, Daima doesn't really have a shot at a full LR celebration like Worldwide, where we can get 4, possibly 6 LRs, unless they're doing multiple sagas like they did during the anniversary. Hard to say for sure, but we won't know till we know. But these are just the big ones, right? So movies slash Wicked Bloodline versus Saiyans kind of has the most going for it right now in terms of EZAs. Superhero and Future Saga seem like the very, very likely candidates to fill this new global Dokkan campaign. So guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and in the comments down below, let us know, honestly, what do you think of this official news that they are merging the two celebrations into one? We kind of suspected that this was what they were doing, but it's nice to have the confirmation. And who do you think it could be? I've talked at length what I think it could be, both in this video and in many others, but I'm curious to know what you guys think in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.